with my flying training. My first flight in an airplane was when I flew out to the Air Force Academy to attend the Air Force Academy. I never had thought of flying in an airplane prior to that, and a few years later, I was in Vietnam flying combat missions. So I've had an opportunity to use up a fair number of my 9 lives. I think I still have a couple of them left, but I have been sent up in an airplane with no oxygen involved because a crew chief's mistake kept me from having oxygen supplied to me in my airplane. And when I depressurized the cockpit, I went to basically 35,000 feet altitude air and passed out almost immediately. Fortunately, I was in an airplane that had another pilot in it who was hooked up to oxygen, and so he brought us back safely. But that was one of my 9 lives. Sort of went by the side on that one. I had.
What plane did you start out in?
I'm sorry?
What plane did you start out in?
The first airplane I ever flew was a T-37, which, the first jet airplane I ever flew was the T-37. I flew a 141, which is the first airplane that you fly during initial flight training. I have probably flown close to 100 different kinds of airplanes. I was fortunate enough to get a chance to fly I'm a graduate of Air Force's Test Pilot School, and as a result, I've had the opportunity to fly a lot of different kinds of airplanes. Okay, are we getting trained?
We're good.
Okay, we're good. So I have to admit that flying is a fun thing to do, but I'd never really thought about flying until I was in the Air Force and had an opportunity to get a chance to fly quite a few different types of airplanes.
So you were flying the F-100 in Vietnam?
Yes, I flew. I basically flew both the F-100 in Vietnam, both in the single-seat model and the two-seat model. The single-seat model is a standard F-100 configuration as a fighter jet, and I flew over 100 missions in that model as an attack aircraft, dropping munitions on various places. I also flew the two-seat F-100, which I flew as what is called a Misty pilot. you could not survive as a forward air controller in North Vietnam in our standard forward air controller aircraft, the O-1 and O-2 aircraft, and so we flew F-100s as forward air controllers in North Vietnam, and that we flew a two-seat model F-100, and we would fly up north. We'd take off from Phuket, fly up to North Vietnam, spend basically spend a tank of gas on looking around North Vietnam for targets, and if we found targets, then we would call the controller and have them send in strike aircraft, which would bring. We would not be flying the F-100s as forward air controllers with any munitions on board. We'd have rocket launchers, so when we found a lucrative target, we would call in and get F-105s or F-4s sent to us with munitions on board to strike at the various targets that we would find. We would generally be able to fly in, find targets, call in and get some fighters assigned to us, and we would mark the targets with marking rockets, and then direct the fighters, 105s or F-4s, in to strike the targets that we would find. We would then, what we basically would do is we would fly around looking for the targets until we found the targets. Then we'd call in and get the strike aircraft. If we didn't find any targets right away, we would fly out, get more gas from a tanker, fly back into North Vietnam and look for targets again. And generally, the Misties would fly 2 or 3 tanks of gas. We would fly into North Vietnam, find a target, get assigned fighter aircraft, put the fighter aircraft on the target. If we didn't find any targets right away, we would fly out to a tanker, get more gas, go back into North Vietnam. The longest flight, one mission, we lost a Misty sortie, and we spent the rest of the day looking for that Misty, and later on, after the war was over, we were able to track back and figure out where that Misty was shot down, and we were able to discover it. But initially, we couldn't find them, and I spent 8 hours that day flying around North Vietnam, trying to find where that Misty aircraft went. And until after the war was over, we never knew what had ever happened to them. They just disappeared.
How long did it take you to get your 100 missions?
Well, the 100 missions system was really only done with the F-4s and 105s going down into North Vietnam and going up into the Hanoi area. Misties, we would fly a 3 or 4 month tour, and with Misty, and there were probably about 6 or 7 pilots that actually flew 100 missions in the F-100 in North Vietnam. For us, for the rest of us, we would have a set number of months in Misty where we would fly with Misty. There were probably 6 or 8 Misty pilots who actually did fly 100 missions, but 100 missions didn't let you go home. If you're flying the F-4 or 105 in North Vietnam, if you flew 100 missions, then you could end up going home in after the 100 missions. Only about a half dozen F-100 pilots ever flew 100 missions in North Vietnam, and actually a guy by the name Dick Rutan was one of them. He's the guy that flew around the world during his flying.
Wow. Well, tell us about flying with Chuck Yeager and your days at Edwards.
Oh, okay. At Edwards Air Force Base, turns out I had 3 different assignments at Edwards Air Force Base. Turns out all 3 of the assignments were effectively assigned. I was flying from the test pilot school, and the first mission sorties I flew from the test pilot school. I flew as a student. The second and third missions that I flew from Edwards was with this as a instructor, and that was somewhat interesting, but nothing as hairy as the flying directly as a pilot at that point.
Tell us about that rocket assist flying.
Oh, during the at the test pilot school, we was where we would fly up in what we call Zoom missions, where we take off and fly up to 35,000 feet, and we had several airplanes that actually had rocket-boosted rockets that could boost you up to higher altitudes. And if we zoom, we call them zoom mission, where we'd be flying and we accelerate out to about Mach 2, and then we'd pull the nose up and go as high as we could. Initially, the first flights, we would just use the regular engine. Then we also had a couple airplanes that had been modified so that they had a rocket attached to the tail of the airplane. And on one of my missions, I accelerated out to about Mach 2, and then we would pull the nose up, and as we accelerated up into the air, we would be trying to go as high as we could, and oftentimes we could actually get over 100,000 feet. And we would be flying in a full pressure suit for those flights. And so on one of my full pressure suit flights, the airplane, as I pulled on a couple of the missions, we would try to zoom as high as we could, and basically we would want to be zooming at an angle of about 45 degrees, and if we did it right, we could get up to 100,000 feet. But for me, for one of my missions, I was as I was pulling up to accelerate to, I hadn't mentioned, but without the pressure suit, without the air conditioning, the pressure suit gets awfully hot. And so as soon as I shut it down, they had to get me out of the pressure suit, got me out of the pressure suit, but all I'm wearing is long johns. So I'm standing out on the lake bed in long johns and trying to explain to all the people that had come out to meet us, what had happened. And standing in long johns talking to colonels about having just messed up one of their toys was interesting.
Yeah, I could bet it was.
Yeah.
Now, did Chuck Yeager's plane go down before yours, or yours before him?
Chuck Yeager's, he bailed out of his first. There were three built originally. Chuck Yeager bailed out of his first. I had the one blow up on me, and then the other one never ever flew. I don't think it ever flew again because they found a discrepancy in how they had built the other one, and discovered that the ability for that airplane to blow up had been in the design ever since the beginning of they flew it. It had that possibility of blowing up, and so they decided that it wasn't a good one to fly anymore, and I don't think they ever flew it again.
Did you say they put one of those up in front of the base?
They had already had one. They built three of them, and one of them was on a platform in front of the test pilot school already at that point in time. I don't know whether it's still there. I haven't been to Edwards in a long time, so I don't know whether the airplane, one of the three, is still mounted on a pedestal out in front of the test pilot school or not.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just that I've used up quite a few of my 9 lives, but I hope I still have quite a few left to go.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview today.
You're welcome. And flying has always been fun, even when it gets very scary.
Thanks so much.